My family roots are in Pueblo. I grew up born and raised in Pueblo. My maternal grandparents are both from Avondale, Colorado. My grandfather was in the military and then in the tire business with Firestone Tire for many years, and then eventually opened his own tire shop and served the rural community of Pueblo. My grandmother was a stay-at-home mom for the most part. They raised 13 children together, and then several grandchildren and great-grandchildren came from that, both very hardworking and instilled those great traits in all of us. My favorite Hispanic cultural experience would be from Pueblo. It's local kind of thing that we have in Pueblo. It's the home of the Colorado State Fair. The end of August, beginning September, the last Sunday of the fair is Fiesta Day. And we start the day with a parade, has floats, dancers, singing, all that stuff to celebrate that heritage, and then it goes back to the fair. We have a Mexican rodeo that day, mariachi music, folklorico dancers, and all the great food, of course, to go with it to just really celebrate that heritage. And it's one of my favorite memories growing up, and still go back home to be a part of that day. So definitely something I hold close. My favorite Hispanic food is so hard to decide on one. I grew up with all the great food and cooking, home-cooked chili and empanadas and calabacitas, fideo, all the good stuff. If I had to narrow it down to one, it would definitely be menudo. Fully loaded, right, with the onions and cilantro, oregano, all of that with homemade tortillas. I'd have to go with menudo for sure. So menudo is a type of soup. Has tripe, sometimes some meat in it, depending on where it's made. And of course, the hardest part for people to stomach, no pun intended, is the cow stomach that's inside of that soup. And then we eat it with tortillas and some other things that we put into the soup. The values for my heritage I'm most proud of, narrowed it down to two. Hardworking. I grew up with hardworking grandparents, hardworking aunts and uncles, hardworking parents that rarely called off work. They worked hard all day, every day. When they came home, they continued to work hard to raise their families and give us those, instill those good values in us to do the same as we grew up. And then I also think of loyalty when I think of those good values, and being kind to people, being loyal to people that are loyal to you, and when somebody needs something, to be there for them without seeking a reward from it, just being a good human to other people. My Hispanic heritage means a lot to me as a role of a police officer, and I try every day to just be a good role model for people, both young and old, no matter their background. I want them to know that they can depend on law enforcement to be there for them no matter what they call us for, and I really want to be that person that shows other people that maybe want to become police officers or be in law enforcement why the job is so amazing, and definitely should seek out that type of career. My advice to people of Hispanic heritage that want to become law enforcement would be to make that goal. If that's your goal, work hard, set the goal, work towards it, find a support system, and achieve that goal. There's no better feeling than going to work and at the end of the day knowing that you've made a difference in somebody's life one way or another. Several days I've gone home and I know that I've had a conversation with somebody where they're in a hard time of their life, and maybe I saved their life just by taking that time to have a conversation with them. Or I got to interact with kids in school and maybe I inspired them to chase their dream, whether it's law enforcement or not law enforcement, but I've either inspired a child to chase their dream, I've inspired somebody to make a change in their life for the better, and that's really the rewarding part and no better feeling at the end of the day.